this is Kelly from the Dollyrots, and you're listening to the Intellectual Saviors. Good for you.
Hey boys and girls, I'm here with Kelly and Lewis of the Dollyrots. They've been generous enough to give me time to do an interview, which this is my first and maybe my last. We'll see how it goes.
No, it's not your last.
It may be. First of all, I want to get into the basic shit that you guys always get, but I want to start. I think I have a feeling where you guys stand, but what do you guys think about the election last night?
Well, we were in Arkansas. We were on stage at 10 p.m.
And we went, woo!
Woo! Yeah, we asked for updates in between every song, and really we should have just asked if we could, not play for another hour.
We didn't, we listen to a lot of talk radio because we drive around a lot, right? So we don't exactly want to listen to music all the time, right? So we'll listen to, AM radio, and it was basically,
In Arkansas that day, it was the worst.
It isn't even in Arkansas. All talk radio is basically saying, at that point, that, Romney's going to landslide Obama. And, to be honest, we're left-leaning people. That's just our nature.
Yeah.
And we believe in certain things. There are certain things, and we respect other people's
I'm
ideas.
A woman.
She's a woman. And we're a female-centric band. So that's just kind of the way it went down, and we felt really good about it. So
yeah. When you woke up this morning, what did you think?
I thought it was all a really good dream.
Yeah. I was wait, did that really happen? And it did.
And so even if he can't get anything done over the next 4 years, because obviously he's going to get blocked by the other side. At least we're going to get a pretty good Supreme Court for the next 20 years, and we're going to get other good stuff that retains whatever. Let's stop talking about politics.
But sadly, it seems like the country is divided exactly in half, and I just wish it would separate in half, and we could all live our way, and everyone else could live their way, and it would be very nice.
So I believe in the idea that people should just come together and stop being divided by all these crazy people on the far right or the far left that make us feel like we're so divided. We're not so divided, dude.
We are so divided.
No,
certain
we're
people
not that divided.
No, it's core beliefs that people can't budge on.
Those are crazy people.
Well, the crazy people are the loudest.
I stand behind the idea that those are crazy people. The people that divide us are crazy people.
I agree. I agree.
Enough about that.
I do. Well, I was just trying to be topical because it happened last night. I didn't want to get you guys fighting over it here. No blood was drawn. I just want to make a mention of that.
This is bleeding, just so everyone knows.
Just a little scratch.
Bleeding from my nose?
Another thing, the reason I brought that up is because I'd read before about how you guys, after the 2000 election, that's how you guys kind of made up your mind. You're like, fuck it, let's go for it because this may be the end. And I didn't feel that way after 2004. I did. I thought the country was done. But I was wondering now, on the new album, of course you guys did it through Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And I know previously you'd been on Blackheart Records. What was the decision? Was that a mutual thing to leave that, or was that one of those things where you just found it was best and due to the independent route?
Blackheart, first of all, for the record, Blackheart didn't drop us.
We had a really great relationship.
We had a really good. We learned a ton from just playing with Joan Jett, seeing the way that she does what she does. We respect the shit out of her organization. We're so grateful to them for teaching us how to be a band, how to really be a band. And I think we took a lot of the lessons that we learned from being on that label forward in terms of trying to start our own label.
Yeah, Joan Jett didn't need a record label. She has her own record label. And because that's the only way that you can really be a band and be a really good small business. You have to actually own the art that you make. And so we figured after 10 years, maybe we could make that happen. And thank God we actually have amazing fans that blew our minds. And Kickstarter was a great success. Way more amazing than we had any idea.
We didn't know Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We left the label, and we, it was all very amicable and very cool, but we didn't know the Kickstarter was going to happen. And then Kickstarter happened, and it was like, holy moly, our fans totally blew our minds. Like, we surpassed our goal on the first day, and we ended up making 4 times as much in pledges from our fans, and we ended up sending out locks of Kelly's hair.
Yeah.
We made cookies for our fans. We're writing songs for our fans. We did all these things. I gave away my favorite guitar, and it just ended up being the most amazing thing, because it's we own our record, but our fans get little pieces of us.
Yeah, and I'll admit, I actually did donate to that when I saw it out, and I did notice you guys hit your goal extremely fast on it. I was pretty proud. I have to admit, I got the album, and I didn't know doing it independent and stuff, because I've had friends, and of course some of the bands, local bands, I've heard their stuff before, and you never can tell. I have to admit, I was really impressed. I thought this was your best produced sounding album. I thought the sound out was the best, and I was wondering, is this something you plan to continue, or if another a larger label came, would you want to do that?
I don't think we want to be part. We don't want to be on a label ever. We want to continue down this path. I think the labels are investors. They shouldn't be called labels. They should be called investors, because what they do is they invest in you, but then you end up owing them more than you will ever gain from the project, and as a working musician, you have to be able to retain ownership of what you do. You create something, you should own it. And
we've had a lot of success in licensing our music to film and TV, and I think a lot of people have kind of the wrong idea of where our band might be, because in all honesty, we get these amazing licenses, but because we don't own our music, we don't reap the monetary benefits of that.
That's something I was wanting to ask, because I know you guys have a lot, I know you guys had the Kohl's commercial, and recently my son...
Brave.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Holy shit, right?
Yeah, my son came in, he's like, Dad, he goes, the commercial's on for the Brave movie, and they're playing the Dollyrots.
Yeah.
You know what's weird about that? For the Brave thing, we're really grateful for it, and we think it can reach a lot of people, and we think it fits what they're trying to do. It's a female protagonist
it's really
movie,
cool.
and it's amazing, but we received $0 for that
so far.
And I don't think
we'll get our BMI money from the performance of it and things, but the way that the music business works.
We don't own that recording. That's why we re-recorded, because I'm awesome.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's why we did that, so that we can own a version of that song. And I think that's just the way that you have to be going forward as an artist. You have to own your art.
Yeah.
That's the way it was
we
in
went
the
to
old
college,
days.
we both have biology degrees, but fucking shit if I have to go get one of those jobs. I want to be a band, and so if it means we have to get scrappy and do it on our own, that's what we're gonna do.
I know this is a few years back, but this is, not really the same veins with the music, but when you guys did the CSI episode, I was always curious, how did that come about, and how was that experience?
It was completely random. This amazing guy, John Anderson, has believed in our band since we first moved to Los Angeles, and he got this email one day. I was looking for female bass players, and he called me. He's like, Kelly, just go on this Hollywood audition. Just go. I bet you'll nail it. And I was like, John, I'm not an actress. I can't do this stuff. I can't do this. He's like, shut up, just go. And so I was like, oh my God. So I show up to this audition, and it was all these super hot Hollywood actress chicks dressed up as chicks in bands. So it was all these thigh high boots and mini skirts, and I was wearing ripped ass jeans and an old t-shirt, and I brought my bass, and so I sat in the audition room, and I obviously chugged a whole bunch of beers right before I went in, and it was 11 in the morning, and they were like, well, can you play us a song? You brought your bass. And I was like, well, bassists you can't really hear it. It's not plugged in, but sure, I'll play you a song.
I think you played out
So
of LA.
I played them our song out of LA, and they're like, will you come back tomorrow and do the same thing? And I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, but listen, here's my CD, and my band is awesome, and if you listen to these 2 songs, I think they could really work. And so I pretty much convinced them to use our band, but we had to have like a professional actress be the actual murderer. So that's why our drummer at the time, Amy, is pretending to play guitar on that episode. Yeah.
That's a story. But
So it's really kind of funny.
It was like, it made sense though. Like
That's why we moved to LA. We grew up in Florida. We started the band in Florida, but in order to have opportunities like that, we had to move to a bigger city and to a place where like random things like that could come up. Like all of the things that have happened good for our band have come from relationships that we've nurtured, like just organically from meeting people and being good people.
But it's not even like we don't like on purpose nurture relationships. We hang out with our friends and people that we like, and if somebody's able to help us, they help us, and if we're able to help somebody else, we help them. You know, it's like I know it seems like Los Angeles is like a soulless city. You know,
it was the last place on the whole fucking earth I wanted to move, and now it's really hard for me to imagine ever leaving it. Like it's not.
It's a small town.
Yeah.
It really is a small town, and I think we all like vouch for each other. Like all the bands and people and whatever that we met in the scene there. Like we love being there
People
because
work hard and they care about what they do, and like sure they're sycophants, but it's a small minority of
you just
the
have
people.
to ignore the people that are trying to be famous, you know, because
Yeah.
they're a bunch of assholes.
They're
you know,
stupid.
they're
But there are
stupid
those people in every small town on the whole planet.
Yeah, you know, like in
it
every
doesn't
small
matter.
town, there's like 2 or 3 people that just want to be like notable. The same thing in Los Angeles. We just ignore them because they're like the worst. They're against art. They're against music. Like we stick with the people that believe in like creating things to make other people happy, and that's what we do. And I think there are a lot of people in LA that do that.
I do too. Yeah.
When you're talking about, just one quick thing, I kind of want to get on about working with friends and stuff. Doing dates with like Joan Jett and the Go-Go's. I imagine, especially for you, being female. They're like icons of rock for females and stuff. I mean, what was that experience? I mean, so far, would you say that was maybe the biggest experience for you touring with somebody like that, or do you like doing the smaller things? I know, like, I'm a big Bowling for Soup fan. They're hometown here in Dallas, and I know you guys seem to have built quite a relationship with them.
I grew up having, it's just me and my little sister, and then I always had, really good friends, but, yeah, Bowling for Soup has taken us on as family, and that, honestly, is probably the biggest thing that's happened as a band. Like, they took us to the UK twice now, and even just touring with them, it seems like the fan overlap really works for us. But obviously, playing with Joan Jett or the Go-Go's, it meant so much to me because I grew up listening to them and idolizing them, of course. And sometimes when you meet people that you've looked up to, you're kind of worried that it could be a disappointment. And in all honesty, it's been really, really cool. Like, Joan is incredible. The Go-Go's are incredible. Every one of them are as cool as you ever hoped that they would be.
I think being in a band, what you can wish for and what you can hope for is to just have people around you that support what you do and that are part of your family, that you can call part of your family. And it's if you're going to start a band, you have to be in a band with people that you trust and people that you consider your brothers and sisters. And Bowling for Soup have become our brothers, and they're they've really done so much for us in terms of just allowing us to go places and do things that we couldn't have done on our own, and we're super grateful to them, but we're also we feel like we're part of their family, and it's great.
And now that you've talked them up, I want to get you to say something bad about them. No, I was wondering now, I know how they are and stuff. I've talked, especially with Eric and stuff. Eric's a good dude. I know they're kind of wild and stuff. So do you have any X-rated type stories you could tell me about these trip over to UK that might have went down? Come on, you can spill the dirt, because literally we...
I think the second night, I know that we were all in our underpants, no tops, no bras.
You have pictures?
And we were, I remember waking up the next
What's
day and I was like,
that?
why do my hands smell like feet? And I didn't remember until I started drinking again, and then slowly, like, the last night's memories started flooding back in, and I was like, oh my God, we sat on the bus in our underwear and gave foot rubs to each other, didn't we? And we did. We just sat across each other in underwear. Like, everybody, like, I was wearing these, like, pink penguin underwear that my mom brought me because I was like, Mom, I'm out of underwear, and she brought me these ugly underwear. But we were just sitting across from each other, feet up, massaging each other's feet for, like, I don't even know how long.
You're not telling me about whiskey nipple.
Oh, yeah,
Chris
whiskey
Burney,
nipples is a whole other thing.
I licked whiskey off of Chris Burney's nipples. So,
Yeah, there's also a game where we rub whiskey on the boy nipples, not mine. I have not participated in whiskey nipple, obviously.
All right.
Okay, I guess we gotta go.
Yeah, I guess you're...
This is so fun.
Yeah, unfortunately we have to wrap it up. I want to thank you guys very much for this. I totally appreciate it.
Of course.